Yeah, yeah. It's like that wasn't that convincing.
Yeah, I got you. Yeah. All right, mic check, mic check. One of the Masters podcast. Y'all's made of course. I got a special guest across from me here. Got the comedian Black the Handicap. Is that correct?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay, we're making sure that's correct. Oh, before we get into your name and all that, we gonna get there. But first, when I start the podcast up, I always try to let the guests tell me a little bit about themselves. So just tell me like just a synopsis, like where you from, stuff like that. Nothing too much. I'm gonna handle it from there. I promise.
You want me to do
Yeah,
that
where you
now?
from? Where you from?
Oh, I'm from Sumter, South Carolina.
Oh, you from the country?
Yes, I am.
All right, what was it like going over there? Something. I was just in South Carolina today. That's crazy.
It was very, very boring. We didn't have a whole lot of stuff, so you kind of had to have an imaginative mind to entertain you at times.
So when you living out there, right? Because I've been there a few times. What y'all do for fun? Like what's something you do as a kid, like growing up? Because it's not much out there. Y'all still got like Piggly Wiggly out there, right? I ain't being funny.
Yes.
I know it's Piggly Wiggly's out there still, right?
Yes, it is. It's actually two of them.
Yeah, I seen one, but I know it's two.
Okay, I'd like to say, back in the day, I read a lot of comic books. I'm kind of a Marvel fan as well. I did quite a bit of reading. I used to be an artist, a tattoo artist, so I'd spend hours and hours of my day drawing and things like that. I'd come up with little games and stuff like that. I'd play in the woods all the time and
The woods?
football.
What was that like? What made y'all play in the woods?
It was there. It was all around. It was like being in the ocean. You know what I'm saying?
That's funny.
It's pretty much, and back in them days, if you didn't have cable, you had to have satellite, and still, when you did have them things, it was always only the basic stuff. Nothing you really wanted to watch. So
yeah, so like in the country, that rural town, whatever, like. Did y'all have like regular cable, or you had to have satellite? 'Cause I know some places didn't have it. Like, cause like out here would be Jefferson County or your Waynesboro. Like, was y'all similar like that? Like, not city lights, so y'all couldn't have certain things like cities had.
where I was at was out in the country,
Oh
so
wow.
it was satellite. It was satellite back then.
What about farming? You did any farming? No.
My first job though was cleaning up after horse stables. First ever official job. I got paid doing that from a farm that was down the street.
So like when you say horse stable, you really mean like horse?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that's different.
Yeah.
What made you not work at McDonald's instead?
You said what made me not work
Yeah.
there? I said,
Like McDonald's or like Piggly Wiggly or something like that.
oh man, I'm really not. I kind of learned about myself, and I realized that I'm not really like customer service material.
See, that's you shouldn't have. So, okay, so but you would have preferred to work on the farm like and clean up that kind of stuff.
No, not at all.
Oh, okay.
Not at all. But I like the McDonald's stuff. Not really my thing. I got into the Army, right after high school.
All right, hold on. See, you jumping. All right, hold on. So tell me about your upbringing. Like you got brothers, sisters. Like what was that dynamic like in the family? Oldest, youngest.
Okay. I have 5 sisters and 1 brother
Jesus Christ.
on my mom's side. It was pretty wild. It was pretty wild at times. We was always fighting, doing something. You know what I'm saying? It was all kinds of different sibling rivalries and dynamics and things like that.
Where you ranking that? Like you the oldest, youngest?
I'm the second oldest.
Oh wow, damn, second. And you got so you got an older sister and then you got younger sisters. What was that like? You had to fight a lot? You had to like beat boys off them or like what were you protected or you didn't really care? You
I
just
would
started
say
growing?
with my older sister, it was more of the fights, just kind of having to defend and things like that because my younger brother, I'm like 9 years older than him. So he didn't come around, you know what I'm saying, to help at all.
Dang, so it's just you. You versus something.
Yeah.
Okay, that's cool. And then the home dynamic, like you had your mom and dad, just your mom.
To be honest, it was kind of wishy-washy. I stayed mostly with my grandmother. I actually know five generations of women in my family, so it was my great great grandmother that pretty much raised me until I was 13, and then she died, and then my grandmother kind of took over and things like that.
Okay.
My mom was in and out, in and out, and my pops was non-existent for
When
them
you
times.
say like your mom in and out, was it like in and out the house or just like your life or
It's kind of both. She was addicted to drugs when I was a kid. And that kind of, I guess you would say, shaped and kind of formed different ways and things like that. Because it's a lot of other experience other people have that I'm like, I don't have that kind of
right, right.
experience and stuff like that. So I pretty much have to give most of the praise to my grandmother. And
Yeah.
they were the ones who sat around there and stepped up a lot for me.
I mean, you kind of see that story a lot just in the world in general. I'm not sure like when you were born. I don't gonna get into your age like that, but I got cousins the same way. Like grandma raised them, and kind of just that's what you got. Like you have that motherly relationship with your grandma. You don't really have it with your mom. So like, was that hard for you? Like when you're coming up, maybe like parent teacher night or times when you got parents at the school. Did you ever feel like, damn, I wish my mom was here? Or you seen somebody with their mom and their relationship? You ever like not envious, but kind of jealous or just wishing you had that?
I wouldn't say as far as like my mom's sake. Sometimes there would be a lot of times that it would be most of that with my dad. I guess my mom's really wasn't doing a whole lot of things or whatever
Mhm.
with me, so sometimes missing her, it wasn't that big,
Yeah.
but she was in and out. But as far as my pops, it was plenty of times, I was jealous.
Yeah.
I see other males sitting around teaching their sons and things like that, like how to work and fix on cars. And there were certain things that, I wanted to do, and like jumping into football, I want to play football, just
Yeah,
looking
yeah,
and being like, no, he's not. He's not gonna be here.
yeah.
Um,
So I get that too, because I mean, like I said, with the mom, you probably had the grandma. They gave you that motherly love, so that wasn't something you probably yearned for, so, per se. But not having that male figure around probably made that not made you miss that more than the mom one. So I can understand that. But let's talk about like just you and like you as a person, like school wise, like what would you like class clown? Would you like a nerd,
um,
popular, sports jockey? I don't know all the stuff out here.
oh man,
Uh,
it's kind of funny.
gothic, cheerleader. I'm just
uh,
name all the things in high school.
um, to be honest, I missed a lot of my high school years. I was in the detention center, all the way up until I was 1 month from being 18. So when I'd say I was about a month from being 18, I got released into this halfway house in Florence, South Carolina. I did the last of that semester there, and then I went home. I went back to Sumter, South Carolina. So when I did that, I really only had one semester of like high school. That's normal, and I had a whole bunch of credits and things like that. So I got like early dismissal and things. I used to like to be, I joke a lot, but I kind of skipped school a whole lot.
I got you.
I didn't associate myself with a whole lot of those things, and
So
having early dismissal just helped.
so how long? Like when you say that, because you said you was in there up until your last semester of high school, but like when did you go? Like what age you was when you went to the detention?
I want to say that was 13, 14.
So from like so pretty much from 13 to 17, you was in the detention center.
So
All right, so we're gonna go back a little bit. All right, so, okay, okay, we're not gonna skip. So all right. So like what? Cause I know I asked like what kind of what you did when you were younger, and you said you was in the woods and stuff like that. So like, what changed from that to get to what you being in the detention center? Like, what changed about what you were doing and
to,
like having fun outside and playing and comic books? You said comic books,
mhm.
Marvel and stuff. Like, what changed?
um, to be honest, it was my great great grandmother's death.
You said
Um,
13. Damn, you did say that.
it was like when she died, my whole world was like upside. My whole world was upside down because it was like a lot of the love and the things that you would look for your moms or your other people. It wasn't there. So this was the lady who told me, "Yeah, you could. Your drawings is good. you know that you mean something to somebody. And when she died, I just, I stopped caring a lot about a whole lot of
Yeah,
things. And it just ain't really mean. It was just like everything else didn't mean as
nothing
much to
mattered.
me no more.
Yeah, I wasn't trying to get you emotional,
Oh man,
and
I can still see that, you know.
and I'll be honest, like I lost my grandma last year, and I'm the same as that. I hate talking about it, so I wasn't gonna ask you too much. But when you say the one thing, and when I'm asking, like, damn, that's a good correlation. When you said it earlier, I wasn't gonna mention it, but then
Mhm.
I didn't. So remember off air, I was saying how I'll bring a question back. That's kind of how I'll bring it back.
Oh
But
man,
I didn't
that's good.
expect that to piece that like that.
Oh
That was
man,
just your
it's
story.
yeah, it just like she was such a powerful influence, you know what I'm saying? And when everybody else would kind of, I felt like everybody else kind of turned their back, you know. My mom turned her back on drugs and stuff, and she picked that over me. And then
Mhm.
my first grandmother, you know, she picked up my sister and she moved to Baltimore and then left me. And she was saying, you know, I had a lot of resentment for that.
Yeah,
Cause I'm like, you would get one, but not
I
me.
thought,
And then
yeah,
you would leave me in this situation. And you know, she told me she used to drive buses for Greyhound. She's done it for years. She retired from it. And she was just like, you know, I've kind of always been the wild card though.
yeah,
So she was like, where I would tell your sister, like, hey, I'm gonna be gone for like 2, 3 days. She would listen and stay on the schedule. You're a little too iffy, and I couldn't take it, you know. And getting older, I understand more about that. But at the same time, I still feel the same way I feel about it.
right.
You know, so it was like all I had was Grandma Sing. And, you know, I even named my daughter after her. She got the middle name Sing. I was like, that's got to go in there. And it was like, and when everybody was doing their own thing, Grandma Sing was the only one there.
Yeah, that's dope, and and definitely I'm gonna clap it up for your grandma too for being there for you. I I say like listening to your story like at least so far as well too. When you lose somebody, people don't realize how much you change. It changed you in the decisions. It's a heavy impact on the decisions you're making. Once you stop caring about something, that's it. So you're not even thinking about what's gonna happen 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. But you're also
Right.
not thinking if something happened, I'm gonna have to deal with this alone. You a kid, you know what I'm saying? Like a 13-year-old dealing with that alone is I don't know how you did that. That's I couldn't even imagine doing that. And you talk to people, me or anybody, even when I talk to Sai, or anybody just in general, you talk to people and 13 is so much as a pivotal year for them because it's so much changing. You got hormones, your body changing, your voice changing, your attitude changing. So you talk about playing in the woods and comments, and now you probably doing other things or whatever you're into, but you're just a kid still, but you're just making grown up decisions. Um, but I guess before I get into what I want to get into, I wanted to speak on something like that. So from 13 to 17, just that time, like what was that like for you being in the detention center? Like was that something you saw yourself doing, or like was it because some people they
So,
see themselves going to jail when they're younger.
man,
That's like a thing.
I hated it, man. Back then, because I actually had a much lighter sentence and stuff, and I kept making things worse for myself. So there was times that I got into fights and got extended time. I got extended time over and over and over. You know what I'm saying?
Did you
And
have the fights? Like was it something
yeah.
you was causing, or you just had to defend yourself?
See,
Or
man, I've always been the type of person that I don't bother you, but if you bother me, I'm just gonna take it there. You know what I'm saying? So it's always been like, you know, and I've had little mischievous times, you know, that I
yeah,
can't say I've
yeah.
always, you know, sometimes I stirred the pot a little bit for no reason, but it's just always mostly I've been like, you know, if you don't bother me, I don't bother you. You
Right.
cool over there, we cool over here. But if you bother me now, I got a problem.
And then being that young, I mean, that young and that setting, when you're that age, you got to kind of prove yourself sometimes too, so that people won't bother you no more. I've talked to people that did time, especially younger. They're young, like they did 6 years when they was starting 17, doing 6 years when grown men. And they'll tell you like, I didn't always start it, but sometimes you have to because if I don't start that fight, this fight might happen with them. So I'm trying to. It's kind of like a sacrifice, so to speak. Where I have to like prove to you that nobody can bother me. So that's a rough setting to be in. I just couldn't imagine. 13 and 17 is so much of like a growing pains era of your life that I don't know if that's the right place to be growing in.
Oh man, nah. My kids sometimes my kids scare me. You know what I'm saying?
How old are they?
Okay, I got 8, 9, 13,
13.
and 13.
Said,
Let's-
hold on, I'm sorry. Wait, said 13 and 13.
yes, and they
Oh, they
four
twins. I got you.
they 4 months apart.
Oh, okay. Oh, you okay? So you came home had a good time. I can tell you that, right?
I mean, yeah, I like to I like to think it was a good time making them. You know what I'm saying? Um,
That's funny.
it was just back.
Well, you said nothing to do. It's all in Sumter. It's all in South Carolina.
Oh nah. This is after I got into the army, and I put the suit on and
Oh, you
stuff
one of them
like
guys.
that.
I got you.
You
I got
feeling
you.
yourself a little bit.
Well, let's backtrack then. So you finished high school.
Hmm.
All right. Did you finish from like Sumter High School or something like that, or like
Yes, I graduated at Crestwood,
okay?
Sumter.
Um, was it like a bittersweet? Like, did you feel like a high school graduate? Like, because I know it's probably different for you.
I
You had a
mean,
memory like graduation is so
yeah,
sad for some people because you got 4 years of memories with them. You came in together for some of them, but you kind of just came last semester. Like, was it different for you?
yeah, I really wasn't attached to I really wasn't attached to these people. You know what I'm saying? It's a couple of them. Like I remember, I used to kick it with some of them that were still there and things like that, but it just wasn't there. You know what I'm saying?
Did you have
So,
friends? Like, did you feel like were there friends? At least they're like when you came home, like that's my friend. Like
oh man, I thought people that I did have would have been friends, but
oh damn.
it was a whole lot different. So I ended up, just kind of clowning and I guess gaining new friends. And then, man,
You're the first person in my life I ever spoke. Well, yeah, I was supposed to. Like, I think people do time while they were in high school and come back and change. But this is like you never got to go to high school, like real high school, until you was done with your sentencing. I never heard that before. That's the first time in my life.
man, to be honest, I consider myself lucky on that. There's I've haven't been arrested as an adult ever.
Clap it up for you.
And it's actually wasn't a bet between my whole family. They were like, "Who's gonna be the first one to go to jail?" They put money in the pot. Was like Terrell, which is my real name. And most of them have all been arrested. And my little joke, I was like, "Y'all are just a bunch of criminals." For about a year, I want to say and a half, I worked as an extradition agent on the road. So I was picking up and dropping off inmates all over America, and I'm like, I was just moving them. Y'all were in there for that nice little haul. You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of fun to throw it back at them on that.
That's funny. Pause on that though. But so all right, after high school, what do you do? Like you go straight into the army, like, and then what went into that decision making? Because I'm assuming at this time there's no family around. You said somebody went to Baltimore.
Okay, I'm gonna tell you, I believe God wanted me to go into the army. When I came home, my mom was living in my great grandma Singh's house, right? And she basically was just like, "So what you gonna do when you get out of here?" You know what I'm saying? I didn't get a time or anything like that. She was just like, basically, once you graduate high school,
That's
you
it.
can't stay here. So what are you gonna do? I know I didn't have the discipline for college and things like that. So the very next day, I got one of those flyers up under the door and was like, "What could the army do for you?" And I was like,
Hey,
I called them
Tom is a
up.
mother. That's crazy.
I was like, "Can y'all get me out of mom's house?" They were like, "If we don't do anything else for you, we can get you out of your mom's house."
That's funny. Okay, so so you go in and so what was that like? Like what was the army like? How long you was in there? And
I was in there 5 years. I was in there 5 years. Some of the best times, some of the worst times. A lot of my army buddies, I was always a clown, doing things. I've had my fair share of disciplinary actions and things like that.
make you do push-ups or like
Oh man, I was a PT. I was a PT beast, air assault qualified. Um,
what that mean? I'm sorry, I'm not gonna like I know that.
Oh,
Aerosol
okay,
qualified,
man.
that's spray?
Air assault is a blast in the class you go through. It's pretty known on Fort Campbell. We propel down the big one, and pretty much you can bungee out of the helicopters
Oh,
and
okay.
things like that. It
You
was
having fun.
Man, I just wanted the promotion points. Really, at that point, at that time, I wanted the promotion points. Um,
So, like, what's some of the places you went, or what did the army teach you? Like, cause you say you didn't have discipline, like at that time. Go to the. Did it give you discipline? Did it teach you anything?
oh man, yeah. I
That- I'm
realized.
assuming I call it YDC, but I guess detention center, what we can call it. Did that teach you anything? Like, did that teach you discipline, or just was like just a effed up 4 years to be there?
I mean, it taught me. It taught me I ain't never want nobody to sit around and close a door behind me again that
Mm.
I can't open. So I know if I do go in, it's gonna be for a real good reason.
Yeah,
You know what I'm
we gonna say you're
saying?
not going back though.
Yeah,
I'm gonna
not.
bet on that one. All right,
I'm
gonna
not
be.
doing that again.
I'm gonna bet you're not going back. Okay, we gonna we gonna keep it positive. But what about the arm? You said army, or the military army.
Army.
Okay, army. What'd you learn? Like, what'd you learn there?
Oh man, so much. If you didn't look, if you didn't know, I was the information system analyst for the Army for 5 years. I built networks and things like that. A lot of people don't know I kind of got a little geek side about me, but
You don't show it.
I don't give it out. Most people when they look at me, a geek ain't the first thing that you think of. A little nerd, but the Army taught me a lot. I've done deployments and things like that. I've been to Afghanistan twice, and there's
You're a
just
brave guy.
yeah, man.
Ain't no way. Ain't no way. I was scared of Afghanistan. That September 11th, that did it for me. All them videos they were showing on
Oh,
CNN,
man.
I thought they had it. It was like that for real. I was good on that. Ain't
Yeah.
no way.
I was good on that, but I was also like, I gotta get out of mom's house.
Want that bread?
And I told my mom that I was like, war's even better. Cause she was like, you're gonna go over there and they're gonna send you over there. And I'm like, as long as they don't send me back to Beckwood Road, I'm good.
So, like, when you got out, why you got out? Like, what was the reason behind that?
Okay. I got out on a general discharge. And the reason that happened was,
That's a bad thing, good thing.
oh no, it just means I got out earlier than my term. I got on a general discharge under honorable conditions.
Okay, got you.
And what ended up happening was I separated from the wife I was with at that time. And
Gotcha.
I had orders to go to Germany, and I didn't have any kind of family care plan. So without having that, they were like, "Did you want to get out?" Because I didn't have it when we separated, and I got custody of the kids. I just didn't have nobody to watch my kids and do the things to sit there and stay in the Army. So I pretty much packed my bags and then left after my second
You
deployment.
couldn't just you can't bring the kids to deployment, I guess. Is that
No, because like I said, I had orders for Germany, and yeah, they can't go to deployment and things like that.
oh wow, I know
And
people
then
that say the
during the
army brats,
day-
they be going out there. So like, what's the difference? You went like, was it war or something? You was going. That's why you couldn't.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
Oh, I don't know about the army. I'm gonna tell you right now. I talked to them a few times, but I
Okay,
ain't well versed
okay.
in the army stuff. So I don't know the terminology you're using.
Okay, well, we did a deployment to Afghanistan, and ain't a place for the kids.
Got you. Okay. So if you was I guess deployment might be different than them just sending you there. So 'cause they could just send you somewhere. Is that that deployment too, or is you
I
just
mean,
working?
they can call it, but you can go to a lovely place. Like, let's say you get orders to go to Spain.
Yeah.
You went overseas, but you have not done like a deployment.
Got you.
You know, so the people be like, I've been deployed to Iraq. I've been deployed here. Most people ain't gonna tell you, I've been deployed to Italy. They'll be like, I got orders to go to.
Okay. So you couldn't. So you got the army because you wanted to be a full-time dad, pretty much.
Yeah, it hit me. And my first sergeant, and I had orders to actually go like within 30 days. And I already had my first bag packed up, and my first sergeant had my orders cut. And I believe after our second deployment, they were doing some downsizing. So it was just like, "Do you want to get out?" And I'm like, "I get out under good stand,
So,
like,
but
okay.
you don't get paid for life though.
Hmm?
You don't get paid for life though.
I mean, I do.
Okay, got you. Is it a special reason or no?
Oh, not to be honest. I get paid for PTSD, pretty much strictly
Okay,
that.
okay.
Everybody thinks like it's the arm and things like that,
I'm not gonna lie.
but
I
it's
was
not.
trying to figure out a way to get to it. I'm not gonna lie to you. I was thinking about it right now. Like, should I just skip over that? I
Mm.
don't know. I was
Oh
gonna.
no, we don't have to skip it.
No, I'm not gonna skip over it. I'm gonna ask about the
Oh,
arm. That's gonna
okay.
that's gonna get asked about. But I was wondering if that was the reason. Like maybe because when you said separate, I was like, oh, she about to say you separated shoulder from. But you
Oh,
say
nah,
you
nah, nah.
separated from
When
your
I
wife.
separated from my second wife,
How many times you been married?
I was married 3 times before I was 30.
All right, got you.
I'm currently at the end of my divorce now. So,
Oh, okay. All right. All right. Let's talk about the arm. Let's start there,
all
right? Why
right.
not, right?
Okay.
What happened? Like
Oh man.
it wasn't in the army though.
Nah, it wasn't the army at all. Uh, Came home and had a really bad motorcycle accident, and I was in the mountains of Nashville. I was going around a curve, and as I was going around the curve, my kickstand came down on the bike, and so it shifted the bike when it hit the pavement into a pothole, and the shot put me into the guardrail.
Hmm. How old were you when this happened?
I was, I want to say 25.
Oh my God. You had just came out the army?
Nah, nah, nah. I was out for a few years.
Okay.
I got out the army November 18th of 2011.
Okay. So you was just on vacation? You was natural just on
Oh
vacation?
no. Let's see. What I was doing at the time of my accident, I was actually going to school. I was one semester away from getting my associates in science, and in Hopkinsville, Kentucky. I was
Okay.
going to Christian County. I also got accepted in the Murfreesboro, Tennessee, for their flight school program. So I was actually getting ready to go to flight school
Hmm.
when my accident had happened.
You talk about things changing your life, but this is this is different. It's a whole different person now, body wise, stuff you got to do. So like, how did that affect you? Like, did you know then that like when the
Man,
accident happened, was your arm there or you
man,
remember
it
you was in
could it
shock?
okay. Nah. For one, a lot of people don't know. Like now, I'm actually legally blind. So like where I can see you directly in front of me,
I about to say.
I can't see my hand right here.
Oh, okay.
I don't see up, down, left, right, and I don't have peripheral.
Okay.
Um, when I woke after the accident, I remember being helicoptered. When it happened, actually, air assault and I would say my mother's device and air assault actually saved my life. My accident. My mom, she used to be a rider. So she always told me, if you think you're going down on your bike, just throw yourself away from your bike.
Mm.
And when I popped in there, I threw myself away from the bike, but I hit on my shoulder side. It was like dangling, like my helmet was knocked off and things like that. And my arm was just like dangling in front of me. And I looked down and I remember I was like, ooh, I done effed up right now.
Oh, that just sent a chill to my body. That was so you was on the ground. Your arm was just in front of
Mhm.
you.
Yep, it just swinging it, and it was about 6 times its size. And so I actually saw this four-way way down the road, and I was like, I gotta get to this four-way to live. And that's why I say air assault did because I didn't know, but I fractured my spine in 3 spots, so I couldn't stand up. When I tried to stand up, I couldn't get it. So I took this hand and I just dug it into crawled all the way until I could get to the four-way, and then I sat in the middle of the four-way. And I was like, you know what? Whatever direction somebody gonna come, they gonna have to stop and see
Like
me.
the pain,
It
like
was it was
cause you trying to get to a four way, like ooh, that's strength to not like just say "Yo, f this. I'm just gonna sit here because that's a lot. That's a lot in one time, like to be going on, like to see your arm and then that's a lot. I don't. That's a lot. That's So how long did it take somebody to come there? Like, you probably don't know now, but
I can't remember,
probably felt like forever, right?
but I do remember. It was this white guy. He came out and he was like, "Brother, are you okay?" And I was like, "F no. Do you see? What? Get help. Call the police. Get somebody. I am not okay right now." And the helicopters came and things like that. I was actually in a coma for 6 days. And when I woke up from the coma, I was completely blind. So like I know I'm awake, I know I'm cautious, I know people are talking around me, but I can't see nothing.
Damn. How'd they change that?
It was like around a 2 week process. It was like I didn't see nothing, and then you know how like you take the old school pictures when you snap the camera, you see those little squiggly
Yeah.
lines. I started seeing those one day, and they were making the shapes of things, so I couldn't see like a table, but I saw like these squiggly lines that made a square to let me know there's a table right there, or if you would have walked close to me,
Mhm.
I can see the outline of you in those little purple squiggly things, and I thought I was gonna be blind for forever. That was like the longest 2 weeks of my life.
Yo,
And
I ain't even gonna hold you like what. So you know how stuff works sometimes with me. Like, I don't really do like managers don't normally like reach out and stuff like that. Like, they do, but I kind of I don't respond. I'm not gonna lie, just don't respond. Right. So when your manager reached out to me and was like, "Yeah, I want you to interview this comedian I got going on." Da da da. I'm like, "All right, cool." Because at first I'm like, "Yeah, cool." And then she goes, not saying I think she was lying because I know she next to me. I don't want to say that, right? But everybody say that. Everybody say this person got a good story. That's everybody say that though. So I'm like, but because I trust her, I also didn't ask about you. I was like, all right, cool. I'm just gonna trust it. She sent some stuff before, I'm like, all right, that's cool. But like talking to you, this only 30 minutes and like, yeah, this is. I was not expecting all this right now. I thought we were gonna laugh, joke, have a good, have a good time.
oh man,
Having a good time still. Having
I
a good
got my
time.
little Terrence Howard over here, got the little teardrop and
Yeah.
stuff. No, yeah.
But it's real though. So, that's the thing, At least you ain't come here trying to cry. That'd be kind of different. That'd be kind of, you'd be amazed. People come here with their own motives. But yeah, I just say that. Like, sometimes people say that and they just want somebody on to get a shot, right? But no, this is a lot. Like, just even, you say, yo, 25 when that happened? So
Yeah,
your first 25 years, like, you talking about, losing somebody who's super close to you, then, having to do with this 4 years of stretch of just like stuff nobody want to do. You graduate, you go in the army, but then you gotta come back. Could you make that choice to be like, you know what? I'll make sure on my kids' life. I'm gonna take care of my kids. We're gonna, do that. Then have an accident and not only lose your arm, but it's like you don't know if you're gonna see. Like, for 2 weeks, you didn't know if you were gonna see or not. You just, I guess at that point, you thought you were gonna be blind. Like, that's tough. That's a lot. 25 years old. That's that's enough to make somebody be like, yo, I don't want, I don't want to do this. That's enough for people to do that because people got
Uh,
way less and they didn't have them kind of thoughts.
I would be a lie if I say I didn't have them kind of thoughts and things like that, man. It was heavy because at the time that I did have the accident, it was like everything was going right in my life. I had been
Damn.
tattooing and Hopkinsville, Kentucky. It was a lot of them that didn't even want me to tattoo. And that year, they asked me to come work for them at the end of the month, and it was like April the 20 something. And it happened, my accident happened like April 8th.
Damn.
And I had failed one class while I was in school, which was psychology. Retook that class and things, and I was doing so well. And then I had got my acceptance letter in the Murfreesboro and stuff. So it was like my life, my life was going so well.
Do you get
And
nervous now? Like, if your life good, if stuff, not saying stuff not going well now, but let's just say stuff start going well. Do you get nervous now? Because it seemed like every time something seemed to be going well for you, it's like not really. You know,
man, yeah. Yeah,
it's almost movie like.
I'm gonna have to say sometimes you look for the thing around the corner, like, you know what?
Extra
Like, it's been
cautious.
going too. I've had too many good days. Something around here.
I think about you talking about, your mom telling you pretty much like, "Hey, you gotta get up out of here after school," and then the next day you get this stuff in the mail. Like, it's like all like kind of like a setup. It seemed like so. as you, I don't know if you explain it that way on purpose, but that's just me visioning. That's what I'm seeing now. Like all this stuff is like set up that way. But I mean, like I said, strong prevail mentally. You seem like be super strong. So, like I know now they say you've I was told you've comedy has shed light on you. That's what I was told, right? Were you like was comedy always something that you was used to like be therapeutic? Because you said you drew when you was younger. Was you always a class clown, or was you like funny when you was younger, or that's something you just kind of like walked into?
Oh man, I was kind of always the class. I like joking, you know what I'm saying? I always like sitting around joking and just kind of cracking jokes on people. Either joke about myself, and I just feel like it passed. Sometimes it was past the time. Sometimes that's all you had back in the day.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, and it saved me a lot because there's so many times that freshening things you get so dark of a day that it feel like nothing don't pull you out of it, and then you hear like one funny joke that you could just kind of keep going back over, and then it lift your spirit for a while. So that's one of the things that I want to give back.
Well, I want to talk about comedy for a little minute though. Like, how long have you been doing it?
Okay, just within like the last 2 years, trying to do something consistent. I've done a couple of comedy shows before then. Even after my arm, the situation with my arm, I threw a few in Kentucky, but it was just nothing consistent. Um,
So it was something you always kind of dibbled and dabbled with, but just nothing.
yes, it was like
Okay.
a dibble and a dabble. And I before the army, I used to go to the Columbia Hall, and I just knew. I had my money in I said I just knew Bernie Mac is gonna come here and he's gonna save me from this mediocre life, and I'm out of here. And that never happened.
never came?
No, no,
You
no.
ever seen Bernie Mac
He
before?
never came. Never.
They got you.
Never,
Okay.
never got
And
to.
any comedian came down? Like, would you ever perform at that time? Did you ever perform in front of any comedian?
No, not at that time. Not
Okay.
at that time.
So I know you said so. Last couple of years, you found this, to be consistent in comedy, right? Um, th- does your handicap have any? Do you mind calling the handicap? Is okay, or we
Oh
call it
man, it's in
something
the
different?
name title. Go wild with it, man.
I ain't gonna go wild now. Come on, now. And I ain't gonna go.
Okay, go medium
Yeah,
wild.
yeah,
There
yeah,
you
yeah.
go.
Yeah, I don't mind bashing me. But so did that play a factor in it? Did you feel like that would add something? Did you feel like I'm a make the best make lemons with lemonade?
Man, it works so much. There's sometimes that it's hard trying to sometimes it's hard trying to get the picture painted for people, but at the same time, if you go pull it off, it's like they're amazed that you're
Yeah,
amazed
yeah.
that. It's sometimes that I done took my shirt off and things and threw it in the crowd, and they go a lot more crazy than what I would have thought. It's a
Hey,
lot of
hold on,
time.
hold on.
Oh,
What made you take your shirt off? Like, what was that about?
oh man, I took my shirt off.
Yeah, like what made you do it? Like you just like you were
Uh,
working out, you was doing push-ups, or you just like you take your shirt off, or you take your shirt off because the arm or like what's the
if,
effect?
if I'm performing, I'll probably write it into the joke. You know what I'm saying, and end up some way, shape, or form, I'm taking this off. And it gives them that wow feature. Like the last time, I want to say I performed maybe 1 or 2 Tuesdays ago in Charlotte, North Carolina, at the Ha-Has and Tatas with Sauce and them. And we were at the strip club,
The what?
so
It's the
we're
the Hyatt,
Ha-Has and Tatas Tuesday.
the strip club.
Yeah, it's a comedy show at the strip club.
Okay. They laugh more with their clothes off, or
They laugh more with my clothes on.
hello. So what's the mindset? What's the mindset of performing at a strip club? Like, what's the difference between performing at a strip club and performing where people got their clothes on, except for you, I guess.
To be honest, it's one of my favorite venues, man. You know what I'm saying? There's types of things everywhere.
You don't get distracted, like
I can't. They don't know that I can't even see them all at one
Chill out,
time. You
chill
know
out.
what I'm saying? So sometimes my actual handicap does help because where you think if I look, I can be looking like I'm looking at a complete
Yeah,
crowd. And I'm
yeah.
looking at everybody.
That's
I can
funny.
probably see about this much of what's going on, and I'm content with that.
So you go in there with shades on and stuff too?
You said shades.
Yeah, like you wear like people like Stevie Wonder. You got the
Oh
dreads.
no
So
no no! I don't. I haven't. I haven't. I might put them on beforehand. I think I might have did it for one show, but man,
you ever thought about trying to play a piano while you're doing it or something like that?
no. But I thought about it. I thought about it so much, and I was like, I look like I'm like I should kind of pose up and had a whole thing going on there
Yo, don't,
with that little,
why
you
you
know what I'm
doing
saying,
that?
with that little fast finger thing like that. You remember how like Steve Urkel used to have that little accordion thing that he? I
Yeah.
was always thinking like kind of doing something like
That's
that.
funny. That is funny. That is funny. So, with, with comedy, right? Like, so to get into the comedy setting, though, like, what do you do to prepare for your act? Like, what's your preparation? Like, how do you prep for this show?
Oh man, I keep listening to my material um, over and over, and I practice it over and over. I got a couple songs that I listen to over and over and over right before I go in. Let me kind of get in that headset. Then I put my headphones on and I listen to myself say the set and stuff over and over and over.
So you got to
And
actually
kind of
you got a few, or you just got one? You got to actually set that you. I asked that because I talked to comedians here and there on the show, and you got some that got sets, some that don't, some that just go freestyle, and I don't know. I guess they make it work.
I like to write my sets out.
Okay, so
So
yours is
I
more
actually have.
organized.
Mhm.
Okay, and do you find that works? Like, does it work different in different settings? Is it ever a you thing where you like, damn, I messed that up, or I ain't really gather that like I'm supposed to gather that? Is it ever a you thing, or
It's been strong points and not so strong points, because you might perform one set in one crowd and it just kills, and you thinking I'm gonna take these same jokes to this next crowd to come over here. You get there and it's like,
so what? Let me stop. All right, so what you doing? Like, say it's going that way, right? You just be like, all right, I'm taking the shirt off. Fuck it. Like that is that what you do? Like, or you gear up to do that? Like,
oh, I gear up to do it. Now, if I feel like this just ain't going the way it is, you snatch it out and be like, look at me, look at me. You know what I'm saying? Some people, it's always that response of like, oh my God, we didn't, because it got a little meat flapping stuff. People been talking about it and things like that. So it'll snatch their attention, most definitely.
boy, I and so when you performing, right? And have you ever like do you watch the comedians before you, after you? Like, do you study them as
Oh
well?
man,
And
yes,
do you, like,
yes.
do you got good rapport with comedians? And I don't know how you, if you perform here mostly or in Charlotte mostly. Like, I don't know what setting you performing in, but any place you perform, do you feel like what's your favorite? I guess comedy community that you performed and been around, whether it be here or Charlotte or Miami, whatever. I don't know.
Well, I've been bouncing around, from here pretty much to Atlanta, and then I just been touching Charlotte and little outskirts of Atlanta and things like that. It's hard, but I would definitely have to say one of my favorites is the Uptown Comedy Corner. I love the vibe from there. I love the vibe from
Where
there.
that's at?
That's in Atlanta.
Okay,
In
Atlanta.
Atlanta.
Gotcha. Okay.
Uh, nice, good, dope vibe. If I'm in Charlotte, of course, high highs and tatas. Uh, when I'm in Augusta, it's definitely icons. Performed a lot there, especially at the dope spits that they have there. So I try to show up for those.
Walk me through, like, so I'm gonna use dope spit because we all love dope spit, right? So I'm gonna use dope spit. So I think the host's name is Sa Jules, maybe, right? Something like that. So if she call you out there, you go, hey, got Black the Handicap coming on, right? Like, what's that when you walk up to the stage? Do you feel it? Or are they looking at you like, is he gonna be funny? Because he ain't. He ain't got
Mhm.
two arms. Like that's something they say, or it's like you just confident knowing I'm about to rock the crowd. Like what's describe that walk to the stage for me with the eyes on you and everything.
Okay. When they have their eyes on me, I still can't see it.
Oh shit! I'm
Um,
sorry. I ain't being
when
funny.
I get
I keep
nah,
forgetting.
it's okay, it's okay, because they think I can.
Oh, okay, okay, okay.
So I actually just say F it, and it's not so much as the walk as that moment when you grab the mic, and it's like a no turning back point here. And the way that I write things, I feel confident. Like I'm gonna go ahead and rock this crowd.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go ahead. They're gonna want to know what I got to say. They're gonna want to hear it.
Um. So, like, you ever? I don't know if you ever thought about this. You ever thought about like athlete pretending to really, really? I know you legally you are, but like, to be blind and go up there and say I can see, just fucking around. Like, I guess for like dramatic effect, or you just kind of just go with just.
Uh I'm not gonna say that because that plays more on my eyesight. But like when it comes to my hand, because they can't see my eyesight, but this is the first handicap thing they associated with.
Got you. Got you.
Because that's kind of how I got Black the handicap. It went from the black kid that draws, and there was the black guy that does the tattoos. And then after I lost my arm, I'm like, I'm just gonna keep that. I'm like, I'm keeping
So you've
black.
been the black all your life. You just kept changing everything.
Yeah.
Okay, got you. So the black that draws, black tattoos, and the black handicap.
Yeah.
Okay. So did it take a while to? And I'm going back to the handicap club, but did it take a while, like, to be okay with it? Because I'm pretty sure you didn't just come out of the hospital like, okay, we good. Let's rock out. That wasn't the mindset. I'm pretty sure.
That stage is some of my darkest days,
A roundabout. Like if you had a roundabout, like how long you think it took you to? Because you seem to be okay with it now. Like, I don't know if you sensitive about it or not, but
Oh no, I'm
you
not.
seen
I'm
it.
not at
I
all.
was like, one thing I say is like, even just meeting you now, right? 'Cause I wasn't sure who was who, of course. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, I don't know who's who, so I'm just giving that, right? Then I would say I knew because I seen you want the arm, whatever. I wasn't sure like if I'm posted, it's so awkward because I don't do that on a regular basis. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, I don't know if I'm supposed to do it, if I should bring you in and not bring you in because I don't want to OD. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
So like, is that even a thing? Like greeting people, and is that awkward for them?
It definitely catch some people off guard. It definitely catch some people off guard. I'm at a place now where I'll joke about it or something like that, and people in public they don't know what to sit there and say.
What about if you see like little kids? You know, how little kids don't know how to. They don't know how
Oh,
to.
I give it, because when them little kids are so rude sometimes, and they'll come up and just, hey, your arm is gone. Did you know your arm gone? Like you think I walk around here not knowing that this arm is gone? And so like I give them all kinds of different. Like if you ask me, I would tell you. If they
Yeah.
they're not rude when they ask it, I'll go ahead and tell them. If they're kind of rude about it, I make up some real horrible story,
Oh man, come on.
and I'll give it to them. They're like, really? I'm like, really?
Yeah, you see, but what's compelling about your story is that you say all these things, just with your life, and things you've been through. You think before you get to the accident part that the story with the arm is coming in those stories, but no, it came when everything was fine. It came when everything was going good, and that's just like, to me, it's just like that's the irony of the story you telling. But just getting back into the comedy. So did you start out comedy with using your handicap as part of your material? Is that the bulk of your material, or just like what you're known for? Because I was able they see when they see you, or
Oh man, I can make 30 million plays off of it, but a lot of my content is just me thinking about things that the average person hadn't said and stopped to think about.
give me an example.
Okay.
Yeah, you didn't expect that question, did you?
I kind of felt a little bit. I can feel a
I was
little
getting there.
bit, but okay. Let's say I got a joke, right? And it's the one B words, but it has a whole lot. I've broken down Yo Gotti's song, put a date on it. And do you remember? You remember when that came out?
Hmm.
And he was just like, "You just like your father," and he was a rat. And that
Yeah.
mean he raising the mice. Yeah, I stopped it at the end, and I was like, "So we just gonna smooth act like mice exist?" You know what I'm saying?
I think the same thing every
I
time.
was like, "We smooth gonna act like we smooth gonna just go ahead and let this slide," and things like that.
That's a good crowd starter too, because people like that song. So they come in and you thinking that you listen to the song, it's like, hold up, stop, stop, stop. I like that. I like that. So is comedy wise, right? Who are some people you look up to, or you feel like not saying you patting your style after, but who you look up to, who you research, who you watch to get better, like who shapes you?
Okay, I say who do I watch, and I've been watching one man to get to one let me know that I wanted to do comedy is my favorite comedian of all, D. Ray Davis.
What?
He
Okay.
he is my
You
favorite. When I was a little kid, I saw him on the Comedy View, and he was like, "When I make it, I'm telling y'all right now, my mom's a crackhead, so when I make it, y'all don't bring this up later." And and I thought that was so hilarious going through that, and I was like, "Me too." I was like, "I want to do what he do," and I saw the energy and things like that. So it's like when I perform, um, D. Ray Davis has been a big influence. Bernie Mac, I love his style of being himself, and a lot of people are gonna be funny, but Gary Owens,
mm,
those three are unapologetically themselves. They don't present themselves as anything more than they are, and they have that either you can get with it or you cannot.
yeah.
I love they all bring such energy to the stage that it's unmatched. So when I get on stage, I know a lot of people have been like, you bring a lot. I love bringing lots. I love talking with my hands. I love, moving it over. I love taking my shirt off. I point my nub at the crowd. A couple days ago, I pulled a cheeseburger up out of my pocket and stuff as a prop. It's just,
You had a
I like
cheeseburger in your
painting
pocket.
pictures. Yes, I did. I did.
So you do you do a lot of props in your comedy?
I'm just kind of learning. Like, I'm trying to. When I write, I think of the picture I want them to have, and I think of how can I really deliver this
Mhm.
picture to them and do it with one hand because everybody else they can move the mic over, I can't.
You can move
So
your mic now. You gotta use your foot, man. You gotta.
you know how hard it is trying to paint a picture with your foot on stage.
Michael Jackson did it.
He was one of the best performers of all time. I'm just
You
starting,
could be that, You could be that. I can see that. I can see that though. Like you probably should look into that though, because you probably could do it and master it. And that'll really wow them. I know you want them to laugh, but that'll wow them as well too. And then you can still show them your nub and like, I got you, nigga, whatever.
I'm not even gonna lie to you, man. I can't dance. I can't, bruh. I can't. I am the epitome of the two step man.
Yeah.
That's in the club. I will two step you to death. I will two step around you, over you, above you. I'll two step, but don't. I might hit you a little dip, I might, but let's say shoulder lean, the songs like that where we ain't got to do too much. Them my jams right there.
what what's some goals you got with comedy? Like I know and before you answer that question, your reception, like have you been booed? Or have you had a bad show or a bad performance? Did they boo you? Not boo you? Like, could they boo you? Like, is it okay to boo somebody? Should you not boo?
Ah,
Is it like an
I'm not.
etiquette in the
I'm gonna
crowd?
say that the not specifically booing, but I'm gonna say the silent treatment is way worse.
You feel like
When
do
you
you feel like they wanted to boo, but they just didn't?
Nah, I just felt like what I was throwing out there wasn't funny to them. And man, it's a hurting feeling when you on stage and I'm like, I'm about to kill him with this next joke. And I throw it out there, you don't hear what you thought you was gonna hear.
Oh man,
To me, that'd be worse than the booing effect.
I was at a comedy show a few weeks ago. I think yes, Cedric threw it. Comedian Cedric,
Oh,
and it was a guy there from I don't know where he's from, but Cedric like when he doing his show, like he's a comedian too, so he doing comedy stuff in between steps, which I liked. It's kind of hard. I don't know if you should do that because sometimes he make them laugh a lot for real, and you got a new person coming on, they not as funny, so it's like you kind of set him up for for failure a little bit, but he bigged this guy up saying he's funny. He's this, this, this. I'm like, all right, cool. He was like he bigged him up more than anybody that night. Like he bigged him up, bigged him up. So I'm expecting a lot. And that guy went up there and was just not saying nothing that was funny. And like he even was saying to himself, like, I didn't like that one, huh? Like, he try again. You can see the confidence just leaving him a little bit, by a little, by a little. I was like, yeah, it's kind of bad. To the point they started laughing just at the fact that he was just stunned. Like I don't know what else. That was my best one. I don't know what to tell y'all now. You know what I'm saying? Like that was the best one I had. So that it was funny then, but I agree with you. I probably would. I don't know if I preferable, but that can hurt because he just left afterwards. Like you stayed. He stayed for like maybe 5 minutes and left. You could tell he just was like, I'm out. I'm good.
Man, sometimes the boo don't get you, but it be the niceness afterwards. Like when you like, I know I ain't hit my mark, and everybody's, it's okay. You're so good. You'll get it another night. I don't want to hear that. That's a nice way of telling me I just sucked right there. You know what I'm saying?
That's funny. I don't know. I don't go a lot, but when I was younger, before I retired, I would go to church and stuff, right? And my that's what they would do in church. Like if somebody sung and like they couldn't really sing well, like it's okay, baby. Like no, it's not okay. Get this nigga off the stage. That's how it probably feel because like you're not doing good. Like I know I'm not because y'all not even clapping for me. You know what I'm saying?
I can tell me I was doing okay. Not one of you laughed when I said the good one. You know what I'm
sure?
saying?
Shit, that's funny. But that's the question I had before. Like, what goals you got? Like, with comedy? Because um, just to put in perspective, like you're somebody who, your manager reached out, so that's one thing. Tell me one thing. Tell me that uh, it's a team of people, a team of person, or whatever that is taking a liking to your style, your craft, so they believe in it. So, and this person is someone who creatively, like got a good creative eye for creativity. So, like, what is your goals for you as a comedian and just a father, human being? Your story. Like, what's your goals?
Okay. I think when it comes to the goals, I think being the biggest that I can be. You know what I'm saying? I've hit one. My little daughter. She was like, when I grow up, I want to be a comedian and tell jokes just like my daddy. And
Oh, that's
that
dope.
kind of touch real
That's
little
dope.
bit.
That's dope.
Yeah, so it's like I feel like I already achieved a little bit of that. But I would say, man, when I get my face on the bus and then there's a tour, I'm thinking somewhere around like a 6 month tour with like an A-list, you know what I'm saying? Somebody actually
Definitely.
got me with them, and then, maybe my name hit up in the big lights. I'm real big on wanting to go out and see what's different.
Yeah.
I think the biggest thing for me that I could do is just be on a schedule where I can do it so much and just hit so many different cities at one time.
So I know, like, of course I'm not gonna like ask nothing crazy, but like I do want to know, like, just in that comedic world, like, in whether it's here, whether it's local, like, are there people that maybe not have blown up per se, or not, or on their way, or just like you grinding, that you like doing a show with that person, or like you just like being on a bill with particular comedians? They just make you feel like, okay, you gonna give your best self that night or on a stage. Is anybody particular that you can think of like that?
Not really, it's to be honest, I'm so new. You know what I'm saying? I'm so new that I can't.
Do you do competition? Do they have comedian competitions? Like,
Oh man, yes. That actually changed a lot of the game for me. I jumped into this competition back in Icons, and
when was this?
oh man,
About last
my
year?
memory a little hit. I want to say it was a little earlier on this year.
Okay.
I can't remember. I can't remember the time
Whenever
frame.
like you do media, like I'm joking on saying this stuff, but whenever just always say a couple months ago, nobody
Oh,
gonna know. A couple months ago, it's just a couple months ago.
oh.
You just ask me something, I'm gonna say a couple months ago. I'm gonna be lying, but I'm gonna just say it. But a couple months ago when you had that when you won, like what was it like? Did you go in there knowing it was a competition? Was it ranking? Was it judged? Like what was that like? What was it about?
Well, I didn't win the competition. I actually came in extremely late. I came in like week 6 or 7. It was like a 10 week competition. Um, it was actually one of the best things ever for me, comedic wise. You used to either, saying something on stage, like I'm used to going to open mics and things like that, and saying something on stage, and you just get the feedback from the crowd. Either you was funny or you was not. And the judges, oh man, they were something else there. You know what I'm saying? If you wasn't on point, they ain't had no problem telling you
Yeah, yeah.
you wasn't on point, but they would break down the sets and kind of tell you why you wasn't on point.
Right.
Or they would have been like, you know what, you might have been a little bit more on point had you done this. Or they would break it down and be like, this is where you kind of effing up at. You know what
Gotcha,
I'm
gotcha.
saying?
But that was helpful
And
though, more than
oh
anything.
man, it was. I got a matter of fact, I felt like I got chewed out the first time I jumped in, and then I came back. I'm like, they're not gonna say nothing else, and I exploded. Oh man, there was one of the judges there, Shy Jules. Oh man, that day, I took off my shirt and then I was like, I'm finna give her a romantic dance. And then I did it to the song "Some Cut" from Trillville.
Oh boy.
Oh man, they kind of went wild at that. Went wild, but I took everything that they were saying as far as shortening up your stories and this, like learning when to sit there and move on and changing subjects and things like that. So it was like they tore me out the first time, and every time they had something to say, I feel like it actually made me a better artist. So
But the dopest thing about that, like, is any time in this creative space, I'm gonna be honest with you. I just keep it a buck with you. Definitely, I know. Yeah, they said don't bring it up, but like definitely comedians. I don't know what it is about that community that you in, but like the criticism part is like it's very they very sensitive. Like you would think it's more so musicians because they got all these songs, whatever. But no, comedians I've noticed are very sensitive to criticism. Like instead of them like taking the criticism. Not saying you gotta change it because I said it, but I mean at the end of the day, I'm an audience member, right? So I'm just telling you what I see. So if I do tell you, hey, this story too long, and you just say F off and you still telling long stories, it's a bunch of people like me that's thinking the same thing. So why not try to just change that? So this way when you go in front of an audience, you don't have that problem, you know? But that the arts world in general sometimes can be super sensitive to criticism. So for you to just change your stuff up and then want to like show them like, hey, look, I'm gonna try to have it to where not saying y'all I don't have no criticism, but y'all can't break me down the way y'all broke me down before. I'm showing y'all, hey, I'm taking what y'all giving me and I'm working on what I need to work on to become better. It's very rare you see that in comedy, definitely. I mean, I'm just talking locally. I don't know about the big wigs. I don't know, but locally, from me being in this space, it ain't too many comedians gonna take kind to any kind of criticism. You even said over mics. I think that's dope. I've talked to people and they just open mics is beneath them. They not doing open mics. No, they're already Martin Lawrence, Chris Rock, and Cat Williams somehow, some way. Just keeping it a bean with you, So I couldn't hold it no more. I'm sorry. It's just got to mind, I'm slow it down right there. Yeah. So I like that. If anything, I would say definitely keep that. Like, even if tomorrow you just go out and you go viral, like keep that wanting to adjust due to criticism. Now, everything you get back ain't gonna be something you're gonna change. Somebody might tell you, don't take your shirt off. That's just them. If everybody else like it, then do it. You know what I'm saying? But if I'm giving you constructive feedback just to make you better, I don't see why that would cause us to have a riff. And then they won't let it go at all. And then sometimes they purposely just keep doing the same thing. I don't really get it, but I want you to blossom and do well. So just listen to that Judge Saju. She kind of know a little something about a little something here and there.
thank you,
From
thank you.
what I've been told, I have no knowledge of that at all. But what I've been told, she know a little bit about a little bit.
Okay.
But stage presence, I will say that though. We going to dose bit. And I know like just with y'all relationship as far as the management part, I would say Dope Spit is one of the most, to me, I'm gonna say the most in the city. Like when I see people on Dope Spit, it inspired me. I'm not even a poet, but it inspired me all the time. I be thinking like, could I go up there? Cause somebody give me a topic. 'Cause I'm just kind of comparing to what I do. And can I go up there and speak and have that much enthusiasm, that much uh, commitment, and then to be able to control the crowd that much? Cause and they doing this like she'll say a subject and they don't know that it's going to be about that, but you got to have that conviction for that round because you're going against people that's driving an hour and 30 minutes to come win this whatever the prize is that night. You get one shot. Ain't no do over. You got to be on your p's and q's. So I say it to say like you in a good space to be around what you're around. Just want you, I know I'm overselling it, but seriously, like you in a good space because I haven't seen anybody be around like when it comes to her as a creative and in the poetry world or just any world that and she's been a part of where they haven't gotten better and better with each event. I don't know how she's gonna do the next event because everybody's getting better and better. I don't know how we gonna really judge that. It probably need to be 5 winners because sometimes I feel bad because people be really nice and they can't win just from one just from 10. It's like a 10 your 10-second span versus that person 10 second span. It could be how you close out that make you lose. So it's that important. So all that constructive criticism that people get, especially in your world, it's not to no avail. We doing it because somebody right now in Tennessee, Nashville, or, in Charlotte or Miami, they getting this criticism and they going back home and they working on it. And they gonna come to your hometown or wherever you live, get a show and outdo you in your own hometown just because they working on it. So um I'm sorry, I went on a little tangent. I be doing that sometimes, bro. I just gotta
Oh
trying to give it to you,
no,
you know what
oh
I'm saying?
no, man, you good. This your show. This
Hey, now it's about you, man. I'm just a conduit to the community, you know what I'm saying? This is everybody else's show. I'm just the person that asks questions, you know.
I mean, there's parts where I understand people be sensitive because I ain't gonna lie, that's
It's
like your
art.
baby. It's
It's
your
art.
baby when you on the stage. So it's kind of hard to hear somebody talk smack about your baby, but just like being in the army, sometimes the delivery is gonna be harsh,
Right,
to
right.
say the least. But can you take the message from what they telling you, or are you just gonna be offended that they had something to say anyway?
I,
And if you just gonna be offended, it ain't gonna. It's not gonna work.
I give you a prime example. Let's paint a picture, right? So you got a show. Y'all say, yo, come out. I'm come out to the show. You go on stage, right? You give a okay a performance. It's okay. You didn't get booed, but it wasn't like knee slapping funny, right? But I feel like it could have been. You come off stage, right? And yeah, I give you a 5. It's not awkward no more because I know you're not, right? So I give you a 5, and I go, hey, look, that was dope, man. You did a great job. Like that was phenomenal. Cool, cool. All right, whatever. Now nothing changes. You maybe you feel like you did dope for real. Maybe who knows? But that same thing, that same scenario, you come off stage and I say, oh, why you ain't do like this? It was dope, but I think when you said that, it kind of messed you up. Da, da, da. Like I think if that bothers you, then you might be in the wrong field, because then you're not never gonna get better. Like somebody having a game. They score 40 points, but they shot the ball 80 times. I don't care if you score 40 points. I'm about to say, hey, nigga, you can't shoot. Stop shooting the ball. Cause then what's gonna happen? You gonna keep shooting 80 shots every game. Like it don't make sense. Like why? Like it just the idea of like, and I get it. Some people probably shouldn't give you criticism, and I get that part because the idea I've seen was and I talked to Sir Cedric on the phone on one of my thinking aloud, and I asked him how he felt about this, and the quote was, um, "Don't give me criticism unless you're better than me." It's like I mean I'm not saying it's dumb because people believe what they want to believe, right? But I might not be a comedian. I'm not an NBA player either. But I can tell you that LeBron probably should have passed the ball to the corner, or he probably should have laid it up and just got the foul and won. Like I can still spectate and give some kind of advice, and I'm not an NBA, and it's fine. If that's the case, we would have ESPN analysts because ain't no Michael Jordan not an analyst, Kobe Bryant wasn't an analyst. These are all top players, right? Like so to say that you can't you got to be better than somebody to get them criticism. I don't know about how I feel about that per se. I feel like that's somebody saying don't give me criticism because most time when you say that you talking to somebody that's not in your league or in your lane anyway. So it's like kind of like saying just don't. I don't want to hear it. what would be your thought? I'm curious now. What was your thoughts on that? Like in the comedian world, like would you be okay with a comedian that's not as funny as you? Like he's horrible every time he go on stage. Nigga sucks. I don't know if you know one like that. Don't say his
Man.
name, but somebody sucks. But they come and side chill. But they come and they say, "Hey, look, man, good performance, but you could have did this." Like, but it's in all in good faith. How would you take that? And mind you, they suck ass. They're horrible.
All right, man. All right, man. I might, it depends on a good day. I'll be like, you know what? I kinda be like, so what would you do? What would you do to get the people to laugh then? You know what I'm saying? What would be your advice? Because obviously I want to be like you. Do you
That's
got
funny.
your recording do you got your recording for your set? Because I would love to see it. I just want to make sure mine's up to par with yours.
That's funny. That is funny. But in comedian, can that happen? Like, I'm curious now. Actually, can that happen? Can somebody just not be funny?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, they
Yeah.
doing everything they need to be doing. They practicing. I mean, they doing everything. You know, how some niggas just can't play ball. Some niggas just not nice. Some people just not good at
Mm-hmm.
activity.
Some-
They can't please a
well,
woman. You know, whatever. Like, and they practice that, or they can't do it. Like, cause somebody could, and the comedian, as a comedian, could you just like do everything you could possibly do and just still just not be it? Like, it's just not for you.
Yeah, you can. I think there's like two different things. I think like you have the raw talent to where like if I go out and perform or whatever, I might not have hit all I could that night. I might have said one or two things there, but you know it's kind of polished like he got some.
Yeah.
Then you got the ones that you just like, why are you here? And then like when they come back and you like, I can give them the benefit of the doubt. Everybody not having an off day,
Yeah.
but they have like 4 and 5 consecutive off times. You like you don't want to tell them like this may not be for you because this is. I feel like this is a space where everybody can be anything they want.
Well, in comedy now, from what I'm hearing, I don't know now. You correct me if I'm wrong. I'm hearing there's two types of comedy now. You could do like stand up, and you can do like social media comedy. I guess like skits or whatever, or I don't know, something that's funny on social media. I don't know what you would call it. Would you ever consider? Do you consider doing that, like doing skits or doing like social media stuff, or you just strictly want to do stand up stage presence?
Oh man, I'm willing. I'm willing to do both. Hopefully soon I'll be able to, do more skits and things. I like stuff like that.
What's stopping you from doing skits? I'm curious now. I always challenge artists. I'm always gonna challenge them. What's stopping from skits? I think skits would be amazing for you.
Oh man, I'd say from right now. Right now, I would say timing and stuff like that. I think that that's more so something that I got to get more on. I actually have to get more people, and then kind of go around it.
Yeah.
Um, I would say timing. I would say I don't think it's
You got a good
like the
rapport,
right time.
like with a lot of other comedians. You got a good rapport. Is this something you building, like not a brotherhood, so to speak, but just a contact list? Because I think it's better when you together is better. So like working together and stuff. And I know like you got certain comedians even here who do skits, and then you got some who are just really good on stage. Like, do you ever plan on, or do you plan on working with any of them at all?
Yeah. Pete Barlow.
Mm-hmm.
He was in the competition or whatever with me. We had this little thing where we always went back and forth at each other
Yeah.
on there. Real funny guy. We looking to actually do some and put some stuff together. There's Ignan Debo. You know what I'm saying? He's got his comedy style and stuff. We looking to sit there and do things in the future, but
What you got coming up as far as shows or competitions?
Right now I'm not in any competitions. You catch me pretty much doing a lot of the open mics up in Atlanta. The Uptown Comedy Corner. I'm gonna actually start back going on there Sundays too. I'm gonna be hitting. I'm gonna be hitting North Carolina pretty much back up. Um, there's comedian Pudgy, and he's opening some more open mics over in Columbia, South Carolina. I plan to
What's
be
your
doing
thoughts on
for
open
some.
mics? I'm curious of your thoughts on open mics.
To
Like
me,
beneficial, you ain't messing with it.
beneficial. I'll run them to death until I get bookings. I'll run them to death. I feel I feel whether I do a paid gig, whether you know what I'm saying, I'm showing up for a barbecue or anything. Yeah, if I don't want to be there, I'm still gonna perform. Like
Gotcha.
it's just a room full of people. And because I still can't see everybody at one time,
Chill out, bro.
it's like it benefits me. You can just tell me it's a room full of people who in there.
That's
You
funny. It's
know,
not funny. I'm sorry. It's not. It's funny, but it's not funny. It's all good.
this done fell.
I don't know if you're being funny. You being funny doing that? Okay. You being
I
serious.
mean, there's funny truths to it. I mean, it's still the shoe still fit. You know what I'm saying?
boy, that's funny. Yeah. So I want. Yeah. The current state of comedy right now. Just in the world, and then gotta be locally, just in general. How do you feel about the current state of comedy? You think there's enough stand-ups going on? You think there's enough comedy out there? It's just one person running the show. Like you feel opportunistic of you being able to kind of get through that comedy door.
I do. I feel. I really feel like it's what you make it. Because 1,000 people can say the joke, but it's said 1,000 ways. You know what I'm saying? And everybody got their own little flavor and what they can and cannot bring to the
Gotcha.
stage. I don't think comedy will ever be to where we like it's just too big. It's too many of us in here. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Somebody gotta go.
What about the type? Like, what about like the content? Are you against certain things? Because I mean, comedy is getting a lot of flack now for like gay jokes and certain jokes about religion stuff that's really funny. Like, do you feel like you need to shy away from that? Is that something you stay away from? Like, look at your manager before you answer that question. I don't think you get in trouble.
Oh man, it's
He looked.
man. I just kind of got to the point to where okay, I gotta kind of watch my mouth.
Okay.
A lot of the times, my content come from I really just don't give.
Yeah,
You know?
yeah.
Um, but it's not so much as I'm against or away anything. I got my only brother that I was telling you about. He's gay, and he's one of them out the closet, in your face with a gay.
Flamboyant.
Yeah, he have his moments, but it's so comical when we get together because we'll talk smack about each other, and people will think that we don't have the same mama, and we'll be like, "Yo, mama trash." No, yo, mama trash. We'll be like, "Yo, grandmama trash." When he brings his friends and things like that around, it's hey man, it's all love. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But like as long as you don't flirt with me, I don't care what you do. that ain't none of my business.
But like, if you had gay jokes, he wouldn't mind. If you had gay jokes in your stand up, he wouldn't mind though.
Nah, as long as they funny.
Well, I guess I want to kind of close asking that too. Like with the support, with your comedy, you feel like I know throughout your life you feel like maybe willing to support here, support there, comedy wise. Now you in your life now, like where you at in your current state of life? Like, do you feel like you have support or support you want from your family, your loved ones, and people around you?
Um, it's like a yes and a no if I'm gonna answer that honestly. Cause sometimes you look at your family like you can be a little bit more supportive, like you know what I'm saying. Like I ain't gonna say you ain't doing nothing, but you could have done a little bit more. You could have done a little bit more. You know what I mean?
You perform back home a lot, or nah?
Huh?
You perform back home a lot, or nah? Like, or South Carolina rather?
Nah. I haven't been in South Carolina perform.
About your mom? Had you seen
like
you perform?
that? Huh?
Your mom seen you perform?
Oh man, yes. My mom
What's
seen
that
me.
like?
Oh man, she came to the first comedy show that I threw in Hopkinsville, Kentucky, and it was actually funny because my dad had moved up there and stuff too, and I was actually talking about him,
What?
and the fact that like he wanted me to talk to my mama to see if he can get off child support You know what I'm saying? And I'm about 30s. I got my own kids. Like, you ain't getting off child support if she ain't done it by now. And then, I was like, dude, we should do him like he did us, mama, right? Figure it out. We'll come back. We'll come back in a couple years, right? That's what we're gonna do.
So, how y'all met? Because you knew him growing up, or you didn't know him at all growing up?
I did. He did dip in and out.
Okay.
There were a lot of times like he would dip in, and I see him for like about a week or so, and then it'd be like another like not too long, about 4 or 5 years, and then he pop right back up in.
Gotcha.
Maybe for like a week, 2 weeks,
Y'all speak now?
and then ah. Oh man, you hit a subject.
Oh, I'm sorry. I don't be
Man.
knowing. I ain't do
It's
my
cool.
research.
It's cool. I actually just spoke to him for the first time in 4 or 5 years. I was up in Hopkinsville, Kentucky, and it's been it's been every bit of 5 years and stuff. We didn't leave off on good terms,
Oh,
so it was just one of them.
it's
It
what it
is.
is.
It is what it is at this point. But
Definitely.
but
What about your mom? You and your mom, y'all got a good rapport at least, or
Well, see, to be honest, I always been a mama's boy. You know, I've always wanted to believe in my. I don't care what she did. That's still my mama. Um, always been a big time mama's boy. As of right now, we kind of. It's kind of hard to say. She returned back to a lifestyle that I'm not cool with,
got you?
and when you try to tell people you're stronger than you think and stuff, she was doing really good and things, and she caught cancer, and then after she caught that, she went back to the drugs, and it's been having us divided and stuff like that, and but I will call her a bunch, or I see her and she'll call me and things like that, but it hasn't been good lately.
For the remainder of the year, like what would have to happen? Not even for any year, but on top of it, either one. But what's some things that would have to that would need to happen for you to feel like successful in what you're doing, like for the next couple of months or whatever? Like what's some things that would have to happen for you to feel successful?
Oh man, the random phone call, like, hey, I seen you performing somewhere else or whatever like that. Want you to sit there and come out, and they be like, kind of a bigger name than me.
Yeah.
You know, you know what I'm saying. With other people, when other people that's further along give you some acknowledgement and things like that, it holds a little bit more weight.
Oh, I understand definitely.
So other people that's way further down the line saying, I want to work with you.
Right, right,
That's when I feel like I don't care the materialistic stuff. That's when I done made it.
right. You got any like stuff, not shows or specials, but like material online? Do you record your stand ups at all? Or not really.
Yes, I'm doing more on that, man. I've been
Okay.
slacking. I ain't gonna lie, I've been slacking. If you look back up on TikTok, I just released a clip that I was in the strip club with. You'll get to see me take off my shirt on the
Yeah,
comedy set
I need to send me
at the
that.
strip
I'll
club.
put the link in the YouTube description too.
Okay, yeah, go ahead and do that. That's the last one. I'm working a lot more. It's different when you're developing, because I'm coming from a place to where I was doing barbecues, you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? I've been doing the hood spots, and things like that.
Everybody got to start somewhere.
Yeah. So
That's usually
it's
that
different.
determines if you're funny or not. It's different being a room full of people, but people that really ain't. It would tell you you're not funny. Like you got the 10, 12 people that tell you you're not funny. That's kind of hard. Don't the barbecue is not an easy place to be trying to make people laugh at. Niggas be hungry. They ain't trying to laugh. You know what I'm saying? So I just don't just say yourself short of where you're coming from. Like the grind is the grind no matter where it's at. So big room, small room, all that matter. I try to tell the comedians the same thing. So when how you talk about open mics and stuff, all that's important. You look at Chris Rock, all them before they do them big specials they get paid for, they go to open mics and do them. I watched that and seen that they go to open mics and do them. And sometimes they don't do well in open mics, but then when they polish themselves up until they get in front of that big crowd, and then that's how you get success from there. So definitely, I would say just TikTok, your Instagram, Facebook, whatever. Just post videos, content. Even if you're just talking, sometimes it could be a minute video, just talking. You might say something funny. You seem like the way you build your stories up is good. So even that could be funny in itself. I would look at anything you can do on social media. I would try to do, me personally. I ain't saying take your shirt off every day, but if that's what you gotta do, hey, fuck it. Do
Hey
what you
man,
gotta do.
I said we gotta do what we gotta do.
Definitely do, man. But just tell people like give them where they can find you, at, whether it's social media, Instagram, Facebook, where they can find you at, and tell them your name and just any last words you want to tell the people. You can look at me, the camera.
Oh man, it's y'all can find me on TikTok at Black the Handicap. I'll spelled out Instagram Black the Handicap. And if you looking, you can look on Facebook and you can find me, but under my real name, Terrell Smith, spelled TorrellSmith.
That's what's up, man. Hey, look, man, it's a pleasure talking to you. I wish you the best. I think you got a good future ahead of you, just from how you talking and the way you approach just in anything that happen in your life. I don't see why this will be a hurdle for you per se. Like it's something you can tackle, and I think you can do well in it. Just keep at it, and be, I would say, committed. That's all. It's something I was talking about lately with somebody, just like having commitment versus compliance. So when you go out and do these shows, no, don't do the show just because you got booked for the show, or don't do the show just because they called you and said, hey, you want to come do the show. Really be committed to it and try to make it your show. Like every show is, whether you the first 10 minutes or the last hour, take the show, just make it yours. And I guarantee you, like having that attitude, you might not hit out of the park every time, but if you attempt, like that's your goal. I don't see why at some point you won't start doing that on a regular basis. So that's just me though. I might not know comedy, but I know a little bit about winning. So but yeah, it's dope talking to you, man. So One Masters podcast, we out. Appreciate you.